Hi, I'm Enchanting Nubia Net. Welcome back. And if you're viewing my channel for the very first time, welcome. Today, I'm sharing recent news pertaining to top industries. Everyone, these changes are sending ripples through both technology and aerospace sectors. As you probably know, Microsoft recently laid off 9,000 employees. Yes, 9,000 people, triggering widespread concern about the stability of the tech industry and its satellite sectors. Now, in a worrying continuation of the same trend, NASA and several American space program contractors have announced plans to lay off an additional 2,000 employees over the coming months. In other words, firings are from the cloud to the moon. These are top tier corporations with employees who have earned advanced degrees, certifications, complex skills, job experience, and even intern experiences. Are these Microsoft layoffs a strategic shift or a symptom of a bigger problem, everyone? The Microsoft layoffs were announced at the end of June. The word is layoffs are part of what company insiders are calling a reorganization and future proofing effort designed to streamline operations and focus investments in high growth areas like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and cloud services. The layoffs have affected workers across multiple departments, including Azure cloud support, hardware divisions like HoloLens and Surface, sales departments, and even product management. Despite posting solid earnings in quarter two this year, that's right, everyone, this year, solid earnings. Microsoft executives cited macroeconomic pressures, market saturation in legacy product lines, and a critical pivot toward generative AI technologies. YouTube family, these are the so called reasons for the workforce reduction. However, critics argue that Microsoft is following a broader corporate pattern of downsizing despite profitability, which may reflect a growing disconnect between executive strategy and workforce realities. The cuts are the third major wave of layoffs since early 2023. Do you all remember when Microsoft began restructuring to align itself with the rapid AI development after the explosive rise of ChatGPT and other generative tools? Do you remember that? The industry experts warned all of us that the workplace volatility could have long term consequences for employee morale, innovation continuity, and the perception of job security across tech industry. So here it is right now. It's like a brutal purge is soaring. How are thousands of employees supposed to survive in these times, in this current job market, in the midst of even more job cuts? Well, my first thoughts, if I were in this situation, I would maintain mental strength. Know that I will overcome any challenge that comes my way. I will have perseverance and keep pushing forward every day, one day at a time, regarding my bills, spending, budgeting, etc. Second thoughts I would definitely know the amount of money or assets that I have and analyze those long term funds that will serve me and my family. Third thoughts would be finding ways to increase my skills to be more marketable while looking for work again, and even researching smart investments to create additional income. But let's continue with this story. As I stated earlier, the fallout reaches the stars because NASA and the U.S. space programs are hit with budget constrictions as well. Indeed, it's a surprising and troubling development. It was confirmed this week that NASA and several U.S. based space program contractors, including Space Systems Command, United Launch Alliance (ULA), and subcontractors tied to lunar and Mars missions, will also be laying off a combined 2,000 employees by the end of quarter three this year. The layoffs are contributed to a tightening of federal funding allocations, cost overruns on key missions like Artemis 4 and the Mars Sample Return Program, and delays in international partnerships with the European Space Agency and Japan's JAXA. And we know about these new tariffs for Europe and Japan. Now there's budget pressures and political gridlock because NASA Administrator Bill Nelson spoke in a press conference just on July 10th. He acknowledged the painful but necessary workforce reductions, stating, in quotes, "We are operating under increasingly constrained budget conditions." Nelson also said, in quotes, "While we remain committed to our long-term goals, including sustained lunar presence and preparations for human Mars missions, we must make difficult choices in the short term." End of quotes. Well, behind the scenes, sources suggest that there's allegedly conflicts in Congress over national budget priorities. This has further complicated NASA's financial outlook, with defense spending, entitlement reforms, and climate initiatives consuming larger portions of the federal budget. Discretionary spending for space exploration is being scrutinized more than ever. And notably, the Artemis 4 mission scheduled for 2028 is expected to face a year-long delay due to budget tightening, procurement reviews, and workforce shortfalls, pushing its timeline dangerously close to an election cycle where priorities may shift again. And we know that will happen, most likely. Also, private space companies caught in a crossfire while NASA itself is feeling the heat. The reverberations are being felt most acutely by private companies dependent on space contracts. For example, Blue Origin, SpaceX, Lockheed Martin Space, Northrop Grumman have all reportedly frozen new hirings and are bracing for reduced mission scopes and postponed deliverables. A senior engineer at Northrop Grumman described the atmosphere as eerily similar to the post-Columbia disaster environment, meaning marked by uncertainty and a chilling effect on innovation. So these dual layoffs, everyone, in both big tech and aerospace, signal shifting economic landscape. The U.S. job market, once upheld by tech giants and government-backed innovation, appears to be entering a phase of caution and recollaboration. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, job postings in the tech sector dropped by 14% year over year in quarter two just this year, while aerospace posting declined by 9%. Economists warn that this could be a leading indicator of a larger employment correction in white-collar professions, particularly those relying on speculative investment and government contracts. And for the thousands of highly skilled professionals now without work, the future is even more uncertain. While many Microsoft employees are expected to be absorbed by smaller startups or AI-focused ventures, outlook of laid-off aerospace workers is even more murkier, less hopeful. Due to the specificity of space-related skill sets and relocation and retraining may be required, and union leaders have expressed concern over severance packages and reemployment support. Analysts say both Microsoft and NASA are at inflection points. And for Microsoft, the challenge will be maintaining consumer trust and innovation while navigating internal upheaval and aggressive AI competition. And for NASA and its ecosystem of contractors, the task is even more delicate, balancing exploration dreams with political realities. So everyone, in my opinion, these layoffs serve as a blatant reminder that even the most iconic institutions with million and billion-dollar budgets are not immune to structural change. What are your thoughts? Please drop a comment below, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks a million, and stay safe wherever you are.